Hey, girlfriend. Welcome back to iHopePrayLove, where we help women account for what matters through faith, structure, and accountability. Today, we are talking about boundaries, not the harsh, cold, I do not care about anybody kind of boundaries. We are talking about the kind of boundaries that help you protect your peace, steward your energy, honor your capacity, and stop giving unlimited access to things God never asked you to carry. Because here's the truth, peace has to be protected. You can pray for peace, journal about peace, post scriptures about peace. You can light the candle, clean the house, put on worship music, and take a deep breath. But if you keep giving full access to what drains you, peace will keep leaking. Some of your exhaustion is access. Some of your stress is over availability. And some of your frustration stems from saying yes when your spirit, body, and schedule were already saying no. Some of what you keep calling, I just need to be stronger, it's actually a lack of boundaries. Today, I want to walk through the boundaries every woman, and now this is my belief, that every woman needs to protect her peace. Because a boundary is not rejection. I feel like a boundary is stewardship, it is protection. I don't think that a boundary is you being difficult. I really think it's you telling the truth about what you can carry in this season. A lot of women were taught to be available before they were taught to be honest. Available to help, listen, show up, fix, serve is a big one. Adjust, sacrifice is another big one. And while serving is beautiful, being endlessly available is not always healthy. There is a difference between love and overextension. There's a difference between sacrifice and self abandonment. So when I think about this, being kind and being accessible to everything is just, I don't know. I just, you just can't carry what God's not assigned you. This is where many women lose their peace. And it's not because they do not love God or that they are bad mothers or that they are weak wives or poor friends. It's because their peace has no protection. I strongly believe that peace needs protection. So before we talk about boundaries, I want you to hear this clearly. You do not need to feel guilty for needing limits. You are human. You have a capacity, a body, a mind. You have emotions and a schedule. You have a home, a calling, responsibilities. And you cannot pour from a life that is constantly being drained. The first boundary every woman needs is a time boundary. Time boundaries protect your schedule from being constantly taken over by other people's urgency, expectations, or lack of planning, right? Their lack of planning is not an emergency on your part. And a time boundary says, this is when I am available. This is when I am not. This is what I can commit to. This is what I cannot carry right now. This is when I respond. This is when I reset. This is when I work. This is when I focus. This is when I am present with my family. This is when I protect my quiet time. Time boundaries matter because your calendar should reflect not only what other people need from you, but also what you need from yourself. It should also reflect what God has assigned to you. If your calendar is full of everyone else's priorities, your life will feel full but still out of order. That is how many women end up exhausted. We are exhausted not because we have no time, but our time has no protection. It has no assignment. It keeps going to other things that are unnecessary. The hard part is that people may not always know they are taking up your time. Sometimes we just hand it away. We say yes too quickly. We respond too fast. We volunteer before checking capacity. We leave no buffer, give people immediate access to our attention. I've been there. Then we wonder why we feel like we never have time to think, breathe, pray, reset, or focus. A boundary may look like I do not answer non urgent messages after a certain time. Put on that do not disturb. I need to check my calendar before I commit. I cannot add that this week I am unavailable during this block. I need notice before plans are made for me. I am protecting this time for my home, my rest, my work, or my reset. And girlfriend, you do not have to over explain every time a boundary is crossed. A simple I cannot commit to this or this week is enough. A simple that does not work for me is enough. I need to check my capacity first. That's enough. So, inventory question. Where is my time being used without intentionally assigned? And so the second boundary is an emotional boundary. Emotional boundaries protect your heart and mind from carrying every mood, crisis, reaction, offense, opinion, and expectation around you. This one is important because some of us are emotionally available to everyone. Someone is upset and we immediately absorb it. Someone is disappointed and we immediately feel responsible. Or if someone is in a lot of mess and we immediately feel the pressure to fix it, they have an opinion and we immediately start questioning ourselves. Or they withdraw and we start overthinking. They're offended. We start trying to make everything comfortable again. That is exhausting. Emotional boundaries remind you their reaction is not always your responsibility. Oh, their disappointment does not automatically mean you did something wrong. Or their urgency does not have to become your panic, okay? The way they feel at this time or their mood does not determine your peace, and their crisis does not have to become your identity. This does not mean you become cold. It just means that you stop absorbing what belongs to someone else. You can care without carrying. Yeah. Listen without fixing and love without rescuing, okay? You can be present without making another person's emotions your assignment. Some of us are tired because we have been emotionally carrying too many people. And the truth is, if you keep carrying every feeling in the room, you will eventually lose touch with your own. An emotional boundary may sound like, I care about you, but I cannot carry this for you. I can listen, but I cannot fix this. I need time to process before I respond. Or I will not receive disrespect as communication. I understand you are upset, but I am not available for this conversation in that tone. I am allowed to let people feel how they feel without abandoning myself. That last one is big. I am allowed to let people feel how they feel without abandoning myself. Okay, inventory question. Whose emotions am I carrying as if they are my responsibility? The third boundary is a relational access boundary. This one means who has access to you and how much access they have, right? Because not everyone should have the same level of access to your time, your mind, emotions, schedule, home, private thoughts, your marriage, your motherhood, your decisions, or your peace. Access is not automatic. It should be stewarded. Some people can love you, but still not be safe with every part of you. Some people can be in your life, but not be close enough to influence your decisions. And family, right? Family still require boundaries. Friends should not have full access to your emotional energy. Some people mean well, but they still drain you. And this does not mean cut them off or cut everybody off. It just means stop giving everyone the same key access that can drain you. Constant phone calls, repeated drama, unsolicited opinions can drain you. People who only come to vent can drain you. People who expect access without regard for your capacity can drain you. If they do not honor your no, they can drain you. And if you keep giving full access to people who leave you depleted, you will keep calling yourself tired when the real issue is exposure. A relational access boundary may sound like, I'm not available for this conversation right now. I cannot be the person you vent to every day, right? Or just keep the decisions private, or don't discuss your marriage, children, or calling in certain spaces, and love them, but get space, right? And emotional dumping. Oh my God. Yeah. And so the inventory question is, who has more access to me than they have capacity to honor? The fourth boundary is a digital boundary. This one matters because your phone can become an open door to portals such as comparison, distraction, anxiety, and emotional overload. You can wake up peaceful and lose your peace within 5 minutes of scrolling. You can be focused, then get pulled into everyone else's life. And you see one post and you suddenly feel behind. You need to rest. And instead of resting, you keep consuming. You can have a quiet moment with God, but your notifications keep interrupting your intentions. So a digital boundary protects your focus. And because what you constantly consume shapes what you constantly think about. So some digital drains are obvious and some are subtle. The account that always makes you feel less than, the comments that leave you frustrated, the videos that make you feel like you have to compare your marriage, your body, your motherhood, your business, your faith, or your home, the group chat that keeps you emotionally stirred up, the habit of checking your phone before checking in with yourself or God. A digital boundary may look like, I do not scroll before prayer. I unfollow accounts that trigger comparison. I unfollow people in a heartbeat. You hear me? I mute conversations that drain my peace. I do not check messages during family time. I set limits on apps that keep pulling me away from what matters. I do not consume content that makes me resent my life. I only follow certain things. And let me say this clearly. Unfollowing is not offensive. Sometimes it's stewardship. Muting is not petty. It's protection. Logging off is wisdom. So the inventory question is, what am I consuming that keeps draining my peace, focus, or contentment? So the fifth boundary is a spiritual boundary. Protecting your relationship with God from the outside noise, performance distraction, and spiritual pressure. Sometimes we are spiritually tired because we have allowed too many voices to define what our walk with God is supposed to look like. We see one woman waking up at 4:30 to pray. Another is doing Bible study for 2 hours, fasting every week. Another posting of scripture every day. Another is talking about her prayer closet. Another shares her devotional routine. And instead of being encouraged, sometimes you feel ashamed, right? Because you're not doing that. So you start comparing your faith. You start feeling like your quiet time is not enough. You start avoiding God because you feel like you are not showing up the right way. This is not the heart of God. Spiritual boundaries protect your faith from performance. They help you ask, what is God asking of me in this season? Not what looks deep online. Not what everyone else is doing or what makes me feel impressive. What is faithful for my real life right now? Spiritual boundaries may look like, I will not compare my prayer life to another woman's rhythm. Or I will not let guilt keep me from reconnecting with God. I will protect time for honest prayer, even if it is short. I will not turn spiritual content into another source of pressure. I will seek God before I seek everyone else's opinion. I will stop using prayer to avoid the structure God is asking me to build. That last one matters because sometimes we keep praying about things God has already given us the wisdom to address. Pray, then build the plan. Pray, then set the boundary. Pray, then make the call. Okay? Pray, then choose the next faithful step. The inventory question is, what is making my faith feel more like pressure than a relationship? The sixth boundary every woman needs is a mental boundary. A mental boundary protects your mind from constant replaying, overthinking, assuming, spiraling, and holding on to things that do not need unlimited space in your thoughts. Some of us are not physically doing anything, but mentally we are exhausted. We are replaying the conversation, rewriting the text. We are thinking through every possible outcome, imagining what they meant, planning 10 steps, carrying what could happen, carrying what did happen, carrying what might never happen. And that is draining. It's too draining, actually. A mental boundary says, I will not let this thought have unlimited access to my peace. I will write it down and decide what needs action. I will pray and let go of what I cannot control. I will stop replaying conversations that do not require another response. I will not let assumptions become facts. I will not use overthinking as a substitute for action. Mental boundaries help you separate what needs prayer, what needs action, what needs a conversation, and what needs release. Because not every thought deserves a meeting. Not every concern deserves a spiral. Not every fear deserves a plan. Every memory does not deserve your whole day. A mental boundary may sound like, I have already thought about this enough. Now I need to release it. I am not going to rehearse that conversation again. I will not let fear decide for me. I am allowed to have peace before everything is resolved. I can bring this to God and stop carrying it alone. And so the inventory question becomes, what thought keeps taking space in my mind without producing action, peace, or clarity? So the seventh boundary is capacity. Yeah, a capacity boundary. And this is when you tell the truth about what you can actually carry. This is the boundary that many women resist because we want to be capable. We want to be dependable, strong, able to handle it. We want to be the woman who can manage it all, right? But capacity is real. Even Jesus rested, right? Even Jesus withdrew. Jesus did not heal every person in every town at every moment. He moved with assignment, not endless availability. So why do we think being a good woman means having no limits? A capacity boundary says, I cannot add that right now. I need help, rest, I need to pause. I need to simplify. I need to choose one priority. Stop pretending I can carry everything well. Capacity boundaries protect you from building a life that only works when you are over-functioning. And some of us have built lives that require us to constantly over-function. Always anticipating, fixing, adjusting, remembering, right? We're always managing, always smoothing things over. Oh my God, carrying the invisible load. Then we wonder why we are exhausted. A capacity boundary is not an excuse. It's just honesty, right? And honesty is the beginning of structure. So the inventory question becomes, what am I carrying that no longer fits my capacity in this season? How to know you need a boundary? Now let's make this practical. How do you know you need a boundary? Here are some signs. You feel resentful after saying yes. You feel anxious when a certain person contacts you. You know, when a person contacts you, like, you don't really want to answer the phone. You feel guilty resting. You keep replaying the same conversations over and over. You feel drained after certain interactions. You keep over explaining yourself. And you feel like your time is never your own. And sometimes you feel responsible for everyone else's emotions and constantly available but privately exhausted, right? You're asking for a peace while refusing to protect it. And those are signals. Do not shame them. Read them. They are showing you where a boundary may be needed. And so this is why the life inventory process matters. Because sometimes you know you need a boundary, but you do not know where to set it. As I said before, you feel exhausted, but you cannot name the drain. You feel overwhelmed, and you cannot tell what needs protection. You may know something is out of order, but you do not know what to do next. And that is where the checklist and audit come in. The life inventory checklist, that helps you identify what feels out of order. And then the life inventory audit helps you turn what you notice into a practical reset plan. We identify the drain, we name the boundary, we choose the reset focus. We build one plan that you can actually follow, one priority, one boundary, one faithful next step. So, if you know your peace needs protection, book the life inventory audit. We are not building a perfect life, of course not, but we are building a structure around what matters.